Welcome back to my spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the issue brewing between two of Port Charles's most compelling young women, whose rivalry has deep roots and explosive potential that's reshaping the landscape of the show. The possibility of future collaboration between Emma Scorpio Drake and Jocelyn Jacks presents one of the most intriguing storylines currently developing in Port Charles. Despite their mutual animosity, Emma's parting words, "Maybe we'll be forced to work together someday, but that doesn't mean I have to like you," foreshadows a potential alliance that could transform their relationship. This cryptic statement suggests an upcoming crisis that might require both women to set aside their differences for a greater cause. Given Emma's medical lineage through her parents Robin and Patrick, combined with Jocelyn's newly established WSB connections and training, the groundwork appears to be laid for a collaborative effort that transcends their personal grievances. The writers seem to be carefully constructing a scenario where these two powerful personalities must navigate their hostility while addressing a larger threat or challenge to Port Charles. The performances delivering this storyline deserve special recognition. Eden McCoy continues to demonstrate why she's considered one of daytime television's most exceptional talents, bringing nuance and emotional depth to Jocelyn's character. Meanwhile, newcomer Braden Bruner has impressively established herself, matching McCoy's intensity in their confrontational scenes. Their on-screen chemistry creates a compelling dynamic that makes even their most heated arguments captivating for viewers. This conflict appears to have generational roots extending beyond the young women themselves. When Jocelyn questioned, "Is this about our moms? Because whatever happened between them has nothing to do with us," Emma's reaction revealed volumes about the underlying dynamics at play. This moment brilliantly connects to the long-standing and complex history between Carly and Robin, suggesting that maternal tensions have influenced their daughters' perceptions of each other. The writers have masterfully created a narrative bridge between generations, allowing longtime viewers to appreciate these layered connections while introducing newer audience members to the rich history of Port Charles. Beneath Emma's antagonistic behavior toward Jocelyn lies something far more complex than simple class resentment. There are hints of deeper issues driving Emma's hostility, possibly connected to her mysterious college expulsion protected by a non-disclosure agreement, and a concerning wallet theft incident that remains hidden from her grandmother Anna. These unresolved elements suggest Emma may be projecting her own troubles onto Jocelyn as a defense mechanism, creating a psychological depth to their conflict that transcends typical soap opera rivalries. Adding another layer of intrigue, Jocelyn's recent WSB training might not be coincidental to this developing storyline. Could she have been assigned to investigate Emma's expulsion circumstances? This possibility would explain the heightened tension between them and provide a fascinating subplot involving espionage and investigation, elements that honor the show's rich history of intrigue while modernizing it for today's audience. Monday's confrontation represented a turning point in their relationship, with Jocelyn finally challenging Emma's persistent rich girl characterization. The explosive exchange occurred when Jocelyn highlighted the hypocrisy in Emma's criticism, pointing out that Emma herself grew up with considerable advantages as the daughter of successful doctors Robin and Patrick. This moment of accountability, "You've been throwing entitled rich girl jabs at me since you got back, Emma, but let's not pretend you weren't raised with every advantage too," resonated powerfully with viewers who had noticed the inconsistency in Emma's position. The tension between these characters has been building steadily since Emma's return to Port Charles. Her behavior toward Jocelyn has been marked by subtle yet unmistakable signs of contempt, from dismissive eye rolls to pointed comments suggesting Jocelyn is merely a privileged heiress without substance or merit. This pattern of microaggressions has created a simmering hostility that finally erupted in Monday's episode, delivering the cathartic confrontation viewers have been anticipating. What makes this storyline particularly compelling is how it examines privilege and self-awareness from multiple angles. While Emma has positioned herself as somehow separate from or superior to Jocelyn's privileged background, Jocelyn's counterpoint exposed the selective blindness in Emma's self-perception. This nuanced approach to examining class and privilege adds substantive depth to what might otherwise be a standard soap opera rivalry. The visual storytelling during Monday's confrontation deserves recognition as well. The camera work captured the emotional intensity between the characters, with strategic close-ups highlighting their expressions during pivotal moments. The blocking and staging created a physical manifestation of their psychological conflict, with the characters' positions in the space reflecting their emotional and power dynamics. These production elements elevated the scene beyond dialogue, creating a multi-dimensional viewing experience. The audience reaction to this confrontation has been overwhelmingly positive, with many viewers expressing satisfaction at seeing Jocelyn stand up for herself against Emma's ongoing criticism. Social media platforms erupted with support for Jocelyn's position, suggesting that Emma's behavior had indeed crossed a line that needed addressing. This audience alignment with Jocelyn's perspective indicates the writers have successfully crafted a conflict where viewers feel emotionally invested in the outcome. Looking ahead, this confrontation appears to be just the beginning of a complex relationship between these characters. The writers have established numerous narrative threads that can be developed in various directions, from investigating Emma's mysterious past to exploring how their mother's history influences their interactions. The potential forced collaboration hinted at by Emma suggests an upcoming storyline that will test both characters' abilities to overcome personal animosity for a greater purpose. The dramatic tension between Jocelyn Jax and Emma Scorpio Drake reached an unprecedented level in Monday's episode, with a confrontation that transformed their simmering antagonism into an open conflict. The scene featured Jocelyn directly challenging Emma's persistent characterization of her as an entitled rich girl, pointing out the hypocrisy in Emma's criticism, given her own privileged upbringing as the daughter of successful doctors Robin and Patrick Drake. This moment of accountability delivered the emotional catharsis viewers have been anticipating since Emma's return to Port Charles. Since her arrival back in town, Emma has displayed a pattern of subtle, yet unmistakable contempt toward Jocelyn. From dismissive eye rolls to pointed comments suggesting Jocelyn lacks substance beyond her family's wealth. This accumulation of microaggressions created the perfect conditions for Monday's explosive confrontation, where Jocelyn finally responded with the memorable line, "You've been throwing entitled rich girl jabs at me since you got back, Emma. But let's not pretend you weren't raised with every advantage too." This powerful moment resonated with viewers who had noticed the inconsistency in Emma's position. The conflict between these two characters appears to have roots that extend beyond their personal interactions. When Jocelyn questioned whether their antagonism stemmed from their mother's complicated history, Emma's reaction suggested this generational connection plays a significant role in their dynamic. This brilliantly connects to the long-standing and complex relationship between Carly and Robin, creating narrative continuity that rewards longtime viewers, while introducing newer audience members to the rich history of Port Charles. Oh, my God! If you thought the tension between Jocelyn Jax and Emma Scorpio Drake was just simmering beneath the surface, Monday's episode blew the lid completely off that pressure cooker. In a confrontation that had viewers literally gasping, Jocelyn finally called out Emma on her constant rich girl jabs. And it was about time. Since returning to Port Charles, Emma's behavior toward Jocelyn has been marked by not-so-subtle digs, including eye rolls, snide comments, and constant implications that Joss is merely an entitled trust fund baby. However, what Emma conveniently overlooks is that she herself is no stranger to privilege. In Monday's explosive face-off, Jocelyn articulated what many viewers have been thinking. With Robin and Patrick as parents, Emma has grown up with considerable advantages herself. "You've been throwing entitled rich girl jabs at me since you got back, Emma. But let's not pretend you weren't raised with every advantage too." Jocelyn fired back in a moment that had many viewers cheering at their screens. This confrontation highlighted how sometimes it takes someone with backbone to call out such hypocrisy. The tension between these characters extends far beyond issues of money or privilege, with layers that suggest deeper underlying conflicts. Sources close to the production hint that Emma's hostility might be concealing something significant, possibly connected to her mysterious college expulsion protected by a non-disclosure agreement, and a troubling wallet theft incident that remains hidden from her grandmother Anna. These elements suggest Emma may be projecting her own unresolved issues onto Jocelyn as a defense mechanism. Jocelyn's recent WSB training adds another intriguing dimension to their conflict. Could she have been assigned to investigate the circumstances surrounding Emma's expulsion? This possibility would explain the heightened tension between them and introduce an element of espionage that honors the show's rich tradition of intrigue, while adding contemporary relevance. Next, we will learn about the explosive drama unfolding between some of Port Charles's most compelling characters as tensions reach a boiling point in the custody battle that has everyone talking. The brewing storm. The tranquility of Port Charles has been shattered by escalating family tensions that threaten to tear apart the fragile peace between several key players. At the center of this emotional maelstrom stands Willow Corinthos, whose forthcoming actions will send shockwaves through the community and potentially alter family dynamics forever. The young mother, still reeling from recent confrontations, finds herself in an increasingly precarious position as she navigates the treacherous waters of co-parenting amidst family discord. The situation has become so volatile that even the normally composed Jason Morgan finds himself troubled by the hostility permeating the air. Known for his level-headed approach to crisis management, Jason's involvement in this delicate family matter signals just how serious things have become. His natural inclination toward maintaining peace, particularly when children are involved, makes him an ideal mediator in this high-stakes emotional battlefield. What makes this scenario particularly fascinating is the complex web of relationships at play. Carly Spencer, whose maternal instincts have always driven her actions, now finds herself potentially at odds with her longtime confidant and ally. The prospect of Jason stepping in to assist Willow could be interpreted by Carly as the ultimate betrayal, especially given her recent explosive confrontation with the younger woman. The custody conundrum. The heart of this conflict revolves around two innocent children, Wiley Quartermain and Amelia Corinthos, whose futures hang in the balance as the adults in their lives engage in increasingly antagonistic power struggles. Drew Kane has positioned himself as Willow's champion, making bold promises about protecting her parental rights that may soon prove difficult to fulfill. In a move that demonstrates the lengths to which Drew is willing to go, he has convinced Willow to designate him as the legal guardian of her children should tragedy strike. This decision, made perhaps in a moment of vulnerability and fear, now weighs heavily on Willow's conscience, as she contemplates the far-reaching implications of her signature on those fateful documents. The timing couldn't be more problematic, as Michael Corinthos continues to make remarkable strides in his recovery. Once he discovers what has transpired in his absence, his reaction is likely to be nothing short of volcanic. The idea that Drew, the very man involved in an affair with his wife, would be granted guardianship of his children, will undoubtedly fuel Michael's determination to reassert his parental authority. A desperate appeal. As the walls close in around her, Willow recognizes the need for a strategic alliance. Her eyes turn toward Jason Morgan, whose unique position in this complicated family dynamic makes him an invaluable potential ally. Not only does Jason typically exert a calming influence on the often impulsive Carly, but his pragmatic nature allows him to see solutions where others see only obstacles. During the week of April 21st to 25th, viewers can expect a pivotal scene where Willow approaches Jason with her surprising request. This unexpected alliance will likely catch many off guard, particularly Carly, whose emotional investment in this situation has clouded her judgment on multiple occasions. Willow's appeal to Jason represents more than just a tactical maneuver. It signifies her growing realization that the path she's chosen with Drew may lead to even greater conflict. Her regret over signing the guardianship papers becomes increasingly apparent as she contemplates the storm that will erupt once Michael and Carly discover what she's done. Drew's dark side. What Willow doesn't yet realize is that her decision to seek Jason's help may come too late. Drew has already set certain wheels in motion, actions that will soon reveal aspects of his character that have remained hidden beneath his supportive exterior. These forthcoming moves will catch Willow completely off guard, potentially marking the beginning of her disillusionment with the man she believed was her steadfast protector. The coming episodes promise to unveil Drew's more sinister tendencies, suggesting that his interest in securing legal guardianship of Willow's children may be motivated by something other than pure altruism. This revelation will force Willow to reevaluate her alliance with Drew, and could potentially drive her further into Jason's orbit as she seeks protection from this unexpected threat. Jack Brennan's earlier warnings about Drew's provocative behavior now appear prophetic. His assessment that Carly's actions would only serve to push Drew toward more extreme measures seems to be playing out exactly as predicted, raising questions about Jack's insight into Drew's true nature. The compromise that never was. Nina Reeves has been advocating for compromise throughout this ordeal, recognizing that the continued hostility only serves to harm the children caught in the crossfire. Her SOS call to Jason during Carly and Willow's heated confrontation demonstrated her desire to de-escalate the situation before irreparable damage was done. Willow may now be considering embracing Nina's approach, seeing it as the only viable path forward. The legal guardian agreement with Drew suddenly appears excessive and potentially harmful, prompting Willow to seek a way to nullify it before its existence becomes common knowledge. However, the opportunity for such a compromise may have already passed. The actions taken by all parties have created deep fissures in their relationships, and the revelation of Drew's guardianship status will only widen these divides. What began as a family disagreement has evolved into a complex legal and emotional battle, with no clear resolution in sight. The inevitable confrontation. When Jason agrees to help Willow navigate this precarious situation, a confrontation with Carly becomes inevitable. Their impending showdown will test the strength of their long-standing friendship, as Carly may view Jason's willingness to assist Willow as choosing sides against Michael, and by extension, against her. From Carly's perspective, Jason's loyalty should lie unquestioningly with Team Michael. Any deviation from this expectation will be interpreted as betrayal, regardless of Jason's intentions. Her explosive reaction to discovering Jason's involvement with Willow will likely further complicate an already volatile situation. The mediation attempt by Jason places him in an unenviable position, caught between his loyalty to Carly and his desire to protect innocent children from becoming pawns in an adult conflict. His efforts to find middle ground may ultimately please no one, leaving him isolated at a time when unity is desperately needed. As this drama unfolds, the residents of Port Charles will be forced to choose sides in a conflict that threatens to reshape family alliances for years to come. The repercussions of these decisions will echo throughout the community, affecting relationships far beyond those directly involved in the initial dispute. The stage is set for an emotional showdown that will test the boundaries of loyalty, love, and forgiveness. As Jason steps into the role of peacemaker, only time will tell whether his intervention will heal these fractured relationships or drive the final wedge between once inseparable allies.